Welcome to a new episode of Just4Sax Academy Talk. In today's episode, you'll get an insight into the saxophone repertoire of the American composer Maurice Whitney that wrote 2 pieces for saxophone. Additionally, I will take a closer look at his famous piece Introduction and Samba. Maurice Whitney was born in 1909 in Glens Falls and received extensive musical training at 4 universities: Ithaca College in New York, the City University of New York, the Teachers College at Columbia University, Westminster Choir College at Rider University in Lawrenceville, and the New England Conservatory in Boston. Throughout his career, Whitney worked as a soloist, composer, and conductor in New York City and Sun City, Florida. He was also active as a choir director, an organist, and taught music in public schools. As a composer, he primarily wrote pieces for theater, dance groups, instrumental ensembles, and choirs. Maurice Whitney passed away in 1984 in New York, leaving behind a rich musical legacy. Now, let's talk about the reasons why Maurice Whitney composed works for the saxophone. Whitney was drawn to the warm, smooth sound of the saxophone and often accompanied the renowned saxophonist Sigurd Rascher on piano during various concerts. Inspired by these experiences, he decided to compose a piece for saxophone and piano, which led to his first composition, Rhumba, in 1949. Two years later, in 1951, he wrote Introduction and Samba for solo saxophone and wind orchestra. At that time, only a few saxophonists were skilled in playing in the altissimo register. Because of this, there are 2 versions of the piece. The first published version was a student edition without altissimo notes, designed for high school players. The second version, which is more widely known today, was later edited by Sigurd Rascher to include altissimo passages. The piece Introduction and Samba features some challenging sections, particularly in the altissimo register. Additionally, the Samba section includes fast-paced passages that require saxophonists to play fast staccato. Now, let's talk about the influences behind this composition. Introduction and Samba is heavily influenced by jazz, as it features typical jazz chords, such as the half-diminished 7th chord. You can hear this in the saxophone introduction, in measures 39 and 41. Additionally, minor-major chords with tensions appear, like in measure 11, where the orchestra plays a minor-major chord with a 9th tension. In the Samba section, the percussion plays an authentic Samba rhythm, giving the piece a jazz combo-like feel. Beyond jazz, there are also impressionistic influences. The introduction features characteristic elements like the whole tone scale and augmented triads, which can be heard in measures 56 and 57. The saxophone itself also plays tensions at times. For example, in measure 32, while the orchestra plays a D-flat 7 chord, the saxophone plays an E-flat, which functions as the major ninth. Of course, major chords can also be found throughout the orchestra's accompaniment. The saxophone itself also plays tensions at times. For example, in measure 32, while the orchestra plays a D-flat 7 chord, the saxophone plays an E-flat, which functions as the major ninth. Of course, major chords can also be found throughout the orchestra's accompaniment. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe in order to stay updated and hit the like button. Thank you for your attention.